Assalamualaikum viewers, I'm Tanzila Manar Sultan welcoming you all to News at 10. You have just heard the headlines, now moving on to news in details. The Executive Committee of the National Economic Council (ECNEC) has approved 9 projects involving an overall estimated cost of 3,756 crore 20 lakh taka. The approval came from the ECNEC meeting held with ECNEC Chairperson, Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus in the chair at the NEC conference room at Sher-e-Bangla Nagar in Dhaka today. Members of the Advisory Council and Planning Commission and secretaries concerned were present in the meeting. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus today thanked the United Arab Emirates for making significant progress towards resuming visas for Bangladeshi nationals and welcomed investment proposals from the country in various sectors. Professor Yunus conveyed his gratitude to Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, Cabinet Minister of Tolerance and Coexistence of the UAE, who led a high-level delegation in a meeting with the Chief Advisor at the State Guest House, Jamuna. Ahmed bin Ali Al Saeed, Minister of State Ministry of Foreign Affairs, UAE, Muhammad Abdul Rahman Al Habi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Investment, were part of the delegation. Al Nahyan told the Chief Advisor that he came in Dhaka under the instruction of their President to express solidarity and underline their friendship with Bangladesh. The UAE recently started issuing 30 to 50 visit visas on daily basis. Bulk visas for business delegations have also been expedited in recent weeks. In addition, the online system for skilled employment visas has been reactivated by the Ministry of Human Resources. Visas for marketing managers, hotel staff, etc. have been issued via this route in recent weeks. Furthermore, 500 visas for security guards have also been issued, with approval for another 1,000 are in the pipeline. UAE Ambassador in Dhaka Abdullah Ali Al Hamudi and Bangladesh Ambassador to UAE Tariq Ahmed were also present at the meeting. The UAE delegates, led by Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, also former Minister for Higher Education, arrived in Dhaka today on a short visit. They were received by Chief Advisor's Special Envoy Lutfi Siddiqui at the Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport. The UAE delegates left Bangladesh after the meeting. India and Pakistan issues and have once again become embroiled in military tensions over the Kashmir issue. India launched missile strikes on 6 locations in Pakistan last night. According to Pakistan's Inter-Services Public Relations (ISPR), at least 26 people, including 2 children, were killed and 46 injured in India's Operation Sindoor. In retaliation, Pakistan launched counterattacks the same night. The Pakistani military claimed to have shot down 5 Indian fighter jets involved in the strikes. They also claimed to have destroyed a brigade headquarters and a checkpoint of the Indian Army in Kashmir. India, on the other hand, reported that 10 Indian nationals were killed and 35 injured in Pakistan's retaliatory strikes along the line of control. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif condemned India's missile strikes as cowardly and vowed a strong response. US President Donald Trump labeled Indian attacks as shameful and expressed hope for a swift resolution to the crisis. China termed India's strikes on Pakistan as regrettable and urged both sides to exercise restraint. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres expressed deep concern over the escalating conflict and called on both nations to show maximum restraint. The military escalation began following the killing of 26 people in an armed attack on tourists in Pahalgam in India-administered Kashmir on April 22. Bangladesh urged both India and Pakistan to remain calm, show restraint and refrain from taking any steps that could further aggravate the situation. The Foreign Ministry said in a statement this afternoon, it said that in the spirit of regional peace, prosperity and stability, Bangladesh remained hopeful that tensions would be diffused through diplomatic endeavours. Dhaka also hoped that peace will ultimately prevail for the benefits of the people in the region. Police supers along the bordering districts have been asked to remain alert so that Bangladesh's security does not hamper, centering the tension between India and Pakistan. Inspector General of Police Baharul Alam said these while replying to the queries of the newsmen after the award-giving ceremony of annual police shooting competition at Shooting Federation in the capital today. IG of Police further said that Bangladesh's security has been beefed up, centering conflict between India and Pakistan. Police is vigilant so that no militant or terrorist can enter the country, he added. National Consensus Commission today held talks with Nagorik Oikko as part of its ongoing discussions with political parties to build a consensus on reform proposals of various commissions. National Consensus Commission Vice Chairman Professor Ali Riaz, members Dr. Badiul Alam Mojumdar, Safar Raj Hussain and Chief Advisors Special Assistant Munir Haidar were present. A 6-member delegation of Nagorik Oikko led by its General Secretary Shahidullah Kaisar joined the meeting. Ali Riaz said each political party will have a different position, but they have to come to a consensus on some fundamental points. He said that discussions alone are not enough. Political parties must also reach a consensus through dialogue with both their allies and opponents to move forward with the goal of establishing a national charter. Constitutional Reform Commission, the Public Administration Reform Commission, the Electoral Reform Commission, the Judiciary Reform Commission and the Anti-Corruption Commission. The important recommendations mentioned in the report of the Reform Commissions and the specific opinions of the political parties were sent to 39 political parties in the form of a spreadsheet. So far, 35 political parties have submitted their opinions to the Commission. Earlier, the National Consensus Commission began formal discussions on March 20 to finalize the recommendations made by the Reform Commissions. The Commission has already concluded the initial phase of discussions with 25 political parties, including the Nagorik Oikko. The International Crimes Tribunal has granted permission to reinterrogate 3 individuals, including former Inspector General of Police IGP AKM Shahidul Haq in a case filed over crimes against humanity concerning the staged militant operation in Jahajbari, Kallanpur, Dhaka, which led to the killing of 9 people. The order was issued today by a 3-member judicial panel of the International Crimes Tribunal headed by Chairman Justice Muhammad Ghulam Murtuja Mojumdar. According to the order, former IGP AKM Shahidul Haq will be interrogated on May 25. Former Dhaka Metropolitan Police DMP Commissioner Muhammad Asaduzzamal Mia on May 27 and former Deputy Commissioner of DMP's Mirpur Division Muhammad Jashimuddin Mullah on May 29. The interrogations will take place at the safe home of the Tribunal's investigation agency. Additionally, the court has scheduled the next hearing of the case for July 14. Earlier on April 9, the 3 accused officers appeared before the tribunal. Following a prosecution petition, the tribunal had granted permission to interrogate them on April 21, 22 and 23 while in the custody of the investigation agency. Besides this case, the accused are also reportedly involved in another murder case in the July uprising. Election Commission has temporarily suspended verification services with BRAC Bank and Bangladesh Answer and Village Defence Party VDP following evidence of leakage of stored NID information of citizens. NID Wing Director General of Election Commission ASM Humayun Kabir stated this today. He said on April 6, monitoring found evidence of a leak of the Commission's data from 2 companies. The data leak is happening in these 2 institutions, Answer VDP and BRAC Bank. Then, according to the decision of the authorities, I have closed it temporarily. An ID Wing Director General of EC said that investigation into the information leakage has already been started. A total of 186 organizations from the NID Wing have agreement with the EC to avail information verification services. The services of 5 companies have also been suspended after the data was leaked to third parties receiving NID services in February. This time, evidence of data leakage was also found in 2 institutions. The Appellate Division of the Supreme Court today fixed May 13 for resuming hearing on Jamaat-e-Islami's appeal against a High Court verdict that scrapped its registration with the Election Commission as a political party. Full bench of the Appellate Division, headed by Chief Justice Syed Rifat Ahmed, set the date, said Jamaat's lawyer Muhammad Shishir Monir. Jamaat's appeal hearing began on March 12 this year following a significant development last October when the Appellate Division revived its previously dismissed appeal. The revived appeal had earlier been set for hearing on September 1, a date fixed by the Chamber Judges Court of the Appellate Division. Jamaat lost its registration status when the High Court declared the party's registration illegal on August 1 in 2013. The Election Commission later issued a notification cancelling the registration on December 7 in 2018. Jamaat challenged the High Court's verdict, but the appeal was dismissed in November last year by a 6-member Appellate Division bench headed by the then Chief Justice Ubaidul Hassan due to the absence of the party's lead counsel. As a result, the High Court's decision remained in force. Amid political turbulence, Sheikh Hasina's government imposed a ban on Jamaat-e-Islami and its student wing Islami Chhatra Shibir on August 1 under Section 18 subsection 1 of the Anti-Terrorism Act during the height of an anti-discrimination student movement. The Home Ministry subsequently issued a notification banning the organizations. However, the decision was revoked later on August 28 and a new notification was issued withdrawing the ban. The Anti-Corruption Commission (ACC) has summoned ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for questioning tomorrow in connection with allegations of embezzling thousands of crores of taka in the name of development projects at various airports during the regime of the Awami League government. Earlier on 5th of May, the SEC sent separate letters from its head office requesting Sheikh Hasina to appear and provide a statement on 8th of May. The summon letters were sent to Sheikh Hasina's addresses in Dhanmondi in the capital and Tungipara of Gopalganj, said the SEC. Among the other individuals summoned are former State Minister for Civil Aviation and Tourism Muhammad Mahbub Ali and former Secretary of the same ministry Mukammil Hussain. Summon letters were also sent to both their Dhaka and hometown addresses. Among those summoned, Mahbub Ali has been arrested while Sheikh Hasina is reportedly in India and Mukammil Hussain is absconding. On 30th of December last, the ACC decided to launch an investigation into corruption of former military advisor to the ex-fascist Prime Minister Tariq Ahmed Siddiq, former Senior Secretary of the Ministry of Civil Aviation and Tourism Mohibul Haq, Chairman of the Civil Aviation Authority of Bangladesh Muhammad Mufidur Rahman and 6 other top officials. The allegations against them include fraud, forgery, various irregularities and the embezzlement of thousands of crores of taka over the past 15 years in the name of airport development projects. Commerce advisor S.K. Bashiruddin laid emphasis on taking an action plan to bring the number of thalassemia patients in Bangladesh down to 0 within the next 10 years. He said this while speaking as the chief guest at a program organized on the occasion of International Thalassemia Day 2025 at the auditorium of Bangladesh Shishu Hospital in Dhaka today. The advisor said each thalassemia patient may require up to 20 to 30,000 taka for treatment, emphasizing the importance of awareness. S.K. Bashir said the disease is largely preventable through proper screening and public education. Chairman of the Management Board of Bangladesh Shishu Hospital and Institute, Professor Dr. A.K.M. Azizul Haq presided over the event, while former head of the Department of Pediatric Medicine of Bangladesh Shishu Hospital and Institute, Professor Dr. Muhammad Salimuzzaman was the special guest. At the program, Director of Bangladesh Shishu Hospital and Institute, Professor Dr. Muhammad Mahbubul Haq delivered the welcome speech. Moving on to international news. Hamas will no longer engage in ceasefire negotiations with Israel, seeing no point in doing so as long as the hunger war and extermination war continues on the Gaza Strip, according to the Palestinian group's senior official. Bassem Naim told the AFP news agency on Tuesday that the international community must pressure the government of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to end the crimes of hunger, thirst and killings in Gaza. There is no sense in engaging in talks or considering new ceasefire proposals as long as the hunger war and extermination war continue in the Gaza Strip, he said. Naim's remarks came a day after Netanyahu said the population of the enclave will be moved in an upcoming expanded military operation by Israeli forces that would reportedly entail the conquest of the Gaza Strip and the holding of the territories. Nearly all of Gaza's 2.3 million residents have been displaced multiple times since Israel began its war on the Palestinian enclave in October 2023. Yemen's Houthi groups have pledged to respond to the latest Israeli strikes that targeted parts of the capital Sana'a and the main international airport, saying the attacks will not go unanswered. Tuesday's strikes killed at least 3 people and wounded 35 others. In a statement, the Houthi political bureau denounced the attacks as further evidence of Israel's bankruptcy. Targeting the Yemeni ports, Sana'a airport, cement factories and power plants aims to impose a blockade on the Yemeni people, the statement said. The Houthis added that Israeli and US attacks on Yemen will not deter Yemen from continuing its support for Gaza. The Israeli army said in a statement that it targeted Sana'a's airport, fully disabling the civilian facility. Tuesday's attacks that also targeted a concrete factory and several power stations in and around the rebel-held capital came in response to Sunday's ballistic missile strike near Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion International Airport. Gas supply increasing in industrial sector by reducing supply in the power sector. Advisor for Power, Energy and Mineral Resources, Dr. Faizul Kabir Khan, said in Dhaka today. The advisor shared this while exchanging views with a group of industrialists at his Secretariat office in Dhaka. Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam, Managing Director of Hamid Group, AK Azad, Meghna Group, Mohammad Mustafa Kamal and senior ministry officials, among others, were present in the meeting. The advisor says the government has decided to import LNG to boost energy production. He said to ensure uninterrupted supply during last Ramadan, 1200 megawatt power was added. From that slot, 150 megawatt power would be diverted to the industrial sector. Narayanganj District Administration today launched campaign against modern Jamindar Bari city in Rupganj Upazila. Assistant Commissioner Land of Purbachal Circle, Mohammad Tazbir Hussain, raided the Jamindar city, receiving formal complaints against this real estate company for dumping sands on arable lands of local farmers and illegally grabbing the cultivable space in the name of housing development. Local people say the real estate company using evil forces are evicting local farmers and depriving their right to cultivate on their ancestral property. Many affluent farmers have become poor and paupers, stepping into the trap of this so-called Jamindar city. Moving on to news on weather. Met Office in its weather forecast at 6 p.m. tomorrow said rain or thunder showers with lightning flashes and temporary gusty wind is likely to occur at 1 or 2 places over Mymensingh and Sylhet divisions. Besides, weather may remain mainly dry with a temporary partly cloudy sky elsewhere over the country. Night and day temperature may rise slightly over the country's highest temperature was recorded today in Kulla and Chuaranga, 36.8 degrees Celsius, and capital Dhaka's highest temperature was 35.7 degrees Celsius. Moving on to news on sports. Inter Milan beat Barcelona in a 7-goal thriller to reach Champions League final last night. Inter Milan denied Barcelona a first UEFA Champions League final appearance in 10 years as David Vertessi's extra-time winner secured a dramatic 4-3 semi-final second leg victory, with this Inter winning 7-6 goals on aggregate in the two legs. Lautaro Martinez and Hakan Calhanoglu took 2 goals lead in the 21st and 45th minutes of the match held at San Siro for Inter, but Barcelona took 3-2 lead as Eric Garcia, Dani Olmo and Rafinha scored 1 goal each. Francesco Acerbi levelled the game, scored 3-3 for Inter Milan. Finally, Inter Milan substitute David Vertessi struck an extra-time winning goal. Inter, which lost the final to Manchester City in 2023, will face either Paris Saint-Germain or Arsenal in Munich on May 31. PSG beat Arsenal by 1-0 in London last week in their first match. PSG and Arsenal will face in their second leg clash at 1 a.m. Bangladesh Standard Time tonight. Bangladesh A-team defeated New Zealand A-team by 87 runs in the second one-day match of the 3-match series in Sylhet. As a result, the host secured the series with 1 match remaining. Batting first after losing the toss, Bangladesh scored 344 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in the stipulated 50 overs. Nurul Hassan Sohan scored 112 runs of 101 balls and Mahidul Islam Onkon scored 105 runs of 108 balls for the team. In reply, New Zealand A-team were all out for 257 runs of 43 overs and 1 ball. Del Phillips scored the highest score for the team with 79 runs. Nurul Hassan Sohan was adjudged man of the match. That's it. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. ECNEC, chaired by Chief Advisor, approves 9 projects worth Taka 3,756 crore. At least 26 killed, over 50 injured in Indian missile strike in Pakistan. Emergency declared in Pakistan's Punjab province. Islamabad claims shooting down 5 Indian jets. National Security Committee gives green signal to Pakistan Army to give befitting reply to Indian attack. In reaction to Indian missile strike on Pakistan, Donald Trump says it is a shame. China says strike is regrettable. UN Secretary General expresses deep concern, urges both countries to show highest restraint. Bangladesh keenly observing India-Pakistan situation. Foreign Office urges both sides to maintain peace. Government to increase gas supply in industries by reducing in power sector, says Power and Mineral Resources Advisor. Election Commission suspends NID check services of BRAC Bank and Answer VDP following data leak. Tribunal endorsed interrogation of former IGP Shahidul Haq and 3 others in Jahajbari terrorist drama, where 9 young persons were killed and implicated as terrorists. At least 3 people killed and 35 injured in Israeli airstrike in Yemen's capital Sana'a. Houthi rebels warn stern reply. And Inter Milan enters Champions League final, defeating Barcelona by 7 goals in a thrilling match. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us, and we invite you